Hello and welcome. This is going to be a channeled intuitive reading for you. Please always use your own intuition to make sure that the message is resonating. So stay if that is the case. And I'm just going to dive right in. Usually I would pull the cards as I'm going, but the deck that I'm using today it's called it's a fairy tale tarot deck, the inner child cards, because I felt before pulling them that this was going to be kind of like about your childhood self, and also that it felt a little bit more playful and joyful than um, other energies floating around out there. So, the first three cards that I pulled were the Six of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and Mother Goose. So, Six of Swords here. With this deck, each card usually depicts an image from a fairy tale, or it could just be themes and symbols from fairy tales. So, in this one, it's a group of children, it looks like, or younger adults, holding swords, and they're toasting, they have cups in their hand, and they're celebrating some kind of victory, or it could be the internal aspects of yourself that have unified to come to an understanding, a new understanding about yourself, or about the world, or about your circumstance, your situation that you're moving through right now. And it feels like a victory of some kind, because all of the chaotic thoughts or frenetic thoughts that were floating around untethered are coming together and making sense. They're unifying to create like one unified thought or idea, or like a more balanced thought or idea. And the Nine of Wands in this deck is like this little fairy child standing outside of a garden. She's peeking over a fence, and so she's peeking into the garden, this like symbol of purity and perhaps even a symbol of the past. She's maybe longing for the past, or she's looking at the past, but ultimately she or he is peering into a new reality, or a new way of perceiving things. But that new way of perceiving things has not materialized yet, quite yet. So there's a part of you out of the like unified idea or energy from the Six of Swords. There is yet to come another way of perceiving things. Like the thoughts are there, but perhaps the perception is not. I don't know if that makes sense. Or perhaps the embodiment is not there yet, because when we think about wands, we think about action and movement. And so yeah, it has been thought of, it has been intellectualized, but perhaps not brought into the physical realm or reality yet. The card that I think really goes along nicely with this theme is the Mother Goose. So this is the Empress in this deck, depicted by, or represented by, the Mother Goose. And this is a very mothering, motherly, nurturing, full of nourishment energy. And I feel like this is your inner mother. This is you're mothering yourself at this time. And this is not gender specific. We all have feminine aspects to our psyches. So there's a certain aspect of your psyche that is nourishing you, is holding you, is perhaps enacting forgiveness or compassion for something. I just saw 444, so fours could be significant for you. Also, there are butterflies in butterflies could be significant. There's lots of butterflies in this card. So perhaps an energy of like a metamorphosis, um, changing from one form to another. The other card that came out was the Magician, and in this deck it is depicted by the genie or Aladdin and the magic lamp. So this idea of creating reality out of a thought or a wish. And 3 is significant here as well. The Empress, number 3, I believe in the story of Aladdin, anybody who, um, like the genie comes, if the genie is your servant, I suppose, then you get 3 wishes. So there's this kind of a magical number 3. The saying like everything comes in threes. So 3s and 4s could be significant for you right now. And with this, I'm getting that you have all the elements that you need to create something new or to continue a creation of something. You have all the elements there. And perhaps this is talking about a wish. Maybe you do have a wish. And I think what I'm hearing is the right words, using the right words, using the right phrasing might be important. Yeah, so whatever this new perception or new idea or new vision, goal, could be any one of those things that's coming forth out of maybe even the past. Like there's like this energy of like reminiscing or even reminiscing on your childhood. It could be like a childhood dream or a childhood goal that you might have put aside for a long time because you felt like you kind of just brushed it off because you're like, well, that was my childhood self that wanted that and wished for that. So I'm not going to take that seriously, but now maybe you're coming back around to that and really thinking about that and holding that in your thoughts and perhaps in your prayers as well. So then we have, I want to hold these 3 up together. So the Ace of Swords, Hansel and Gretel, which is the Lovers, and the 6 of Hearts, and Hearts is synonymous with cups in this deck. So we have the Ace of Swords. This is King Arthur, or Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone before he became king. Hansel and Gretel, the lovers. So in this depiction, it is the feminine and masculine, the anima and animus of the psyche, unifying through love. In this, it's brotherly and sisterly love. And yeah, so this like making whole of 2 aspects of yourself, those balance, an internal balance when it comes to love. Perhaps you're realizing that the love that you've been seeking has been within you the whole time, and it is by blending the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself that we come to really see and understand that divine love that we all carry within. I'm feeling that perhaps like a tantric path or tantric knowledge is important to you. And I don't mean there's like a very popular take on Tantra, which I don't subscribe to, which is it feels like it's kind of purely the more sexual aspects of Tantra practice, whereas the more traditional practice of Tantra, which does not only originate in India, but in other places in the world, like Egypt, um, that the idea in some cases is that it's a practice with yourself. It's a practice of loving yourself, of finding that wholeness and that um, balance between the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself. And out of that unity comes love, like the highest form of love for yourself and for others, and that it is really only possible to love others um, truly when we love ourselves. Yeah, that could be important for someone. The other, okay, so it was the Six of Hearts, the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords, this is about like a new beginning in the realm of the intellect. And it could also be pointing to truth, just like simply just the sort of truth that there is a truth that's been coming out or that is yet to be revealed that's important for this journey you're on right now. I believe that truth is connected to the lovers and what I was just previously talking about like the unified anima and animus of the psyche. Um, and this goes back to like loving and mothering yourself, mothering your child, the child within, your childhood self, um, which some people might not see as within, but more of like a concept from the past. But the the wounds, the childhood wounds that you carry, um, kind of illuminate the idea that the childhood self is still resides within because there's maybe certain triggers for those particular wounds that have come up a lot for you, and perhaps you've been searching for a way to heal those wounds. And recently, I feel that you've come to understand a more like gentle and mothering approach to holding that self, especially through those triggers, having compassion and empathy for that self. And maybe in those moments that you feel really triggered, to just tell yourself that it's okay to feel, and just take a moment for yourself to hold yourself in that place. Maybe up until pretty recently you haven't been able to do that. And the Six of Hearts, this is coming out of a heartbreak or just a really heavy emotional time, something heavy, emotionally heavy that was weighing on you, but is lifting. This is represented by these mermaids. One of the mermaids is on a stork, some bird that looks like a stork, and she's helping lift the other mermaids out of the sea. So there's this like rising up of the emotions, coming to like a higher place, a higher understanding of the situation, and being able to just let it be, let it stay in the waters of the ocean. It is interesting because mermaids, as a mythological or mystical or maybe real being, they inhabit both the sea and the land. They can inhabit both, so they can move easily between the depths of the sea, which water in fairy tale and mythology is often representative of the unconscious self or the unconscious mind or the underworld, and that it's vitally important for us to be able to descend into the underworld and connect with our unconscious there, and then bring up that understanding to the topside world, which is like the air in this card. And that's where like true understanding or even catharsis, I'm hearing, comes, like a release of emotion when we connect with our unconscious self, and then take that understanding up, up, up into the consensual reality that we are a part of, that we share with others, and yeah, holding those emotions and then perhaps releasing them, but at least going through them. And I feel like you're doing this, and you're doing it so well. You're doing it with such grace and compassion for yourself. And your emotions at this time may even feel like, when they come up, um, it's like they're just right there. Even though you might not feel like weepy all the time or emotional all the time, by emotional I mean like sad, I guess, but that the emotion is just on the surface, and it's really easy to tap into it or embody it. And this feels like a healthy thing. It doesn't feel like you're just like rolling around in the muck of your emotions all the time. It's just that when you need to access them, it's right there, and it's like a quick release, or it can be a quick release, and then you move through it, and then you move on. Um, so yeah, that feels really good. The last card that I got, just making sure that I spoke about the other cards. So the fairy godmother, which is the high priestess in this deck. So represented by the fairy godmother, there's another motherly energy. So godmother, mother. Obviously, these two energies are related to the feminine aspects of our psyche, and this fairy godmother is specifically the one from Cinderella, who is, she's the key to unlocking Cinderella's freedom, or her higher self, but also intuitive self. And obviously the high priestess is a highly intuitive archetype. She's the one that is able to reach into and beyond the veil to see and perceive things that are not obvious, that are not on the surface. And this is very, very important for you right now. And this is how you've been moving through your life. This is how you've been understanding yourself and other people, noticing the patterns that arise, the cycles, the patterns that are connected to your intuition, where like signs and synchronicities maybe come back around, and each time you see them or feel them or interpret them, it's like there's this new wave of understanding that comes with them. I don't know if that's making any sense. And you may even be feeling, again, with this like inner child energy, that, or archetype, that you may be remembering how intuitive your inner child is, and how intuitive you were perhaps as a child, and the feelings that you felt and the sensitivities that you felt when certain things would happen. Perhaps like, almost like scarily deep empathy for certain people that might have frightened you and been confusing, and kind of brushed off by other people as well. Your like very, very sensitive heart might have been brushed off, but now you're coming to realize that that is part of intuition, and it's also like an integral part of you, an inherent part of you, and it's so important. It's vitally important for your growth and for yeah, your life and for understanding yourself and other people. So, yeah, that those were the cards that I pulled from that deck. That feels just like just really lovely. Like it makes me feel emotional and um yeah, really like even though there's been a lot of heart wrenching experiences in your life, you have moved through, not always, like we're not perfect. Not That's not what I'm trying to say. And it's been, I feel like, really up and down with your intuition and like learning to trust it and learning what it feels like too, learning the difference between fear and intuition, and that's tricky. Um, I want to pull one last card just from an oracle deck called the Wisdom of the Oracle. Oh, oh. Okay. Oh, lovely. This really connects with the Six of Swords. So it's community. It's a lovely little depiction. Yeah, Six of Swords. Like I talked about it in relation to the different aspects of yourself, but this could be different aspects of people in your community in the physical world. Um, and um, perhaps you're feeling really ready to connect with the the different members of your community and collaborate with them in a way that feels in alignment and healthy for you. I want to see if one more card wants to come out. It also could just, again, going back to like your inner self, your inner psyche, that like your psyche might feel like a community right now, like a really connected community, um, a really healthy community that's working together for your highest good. And new life. That's, yeah, really lovely. This like butterfly kind of like blossoming energy as well. Um, yeah, oh, these are two. So in this oracle deck, there's two fairies, one with purple wings and one with pink wings, and yeah, there's really magical kind of energy of regeneration and new life, new beginnings. Again, going back to the sword, the Ace of Swords, this new beginning in the realm of the intellect, which, brings up ideas of wisdom. And I believe deeply that true wisdom is born out of not only our mind, but also how we move through life, how we move our bodies, and how we feel, and how we sense. And yeah, so it's like a combination of all of those things that true wisdom comes. Um, and maybe that's something that you are feeling as well. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is really beautiful. Also, new life and community. Maybe you feel like you have a new anchor in your community. There's a new role or maybe a new offering that you feel you can give to your community. I don't know. Maybe that's for somebody. I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much if you listened to this. I really appreciate it if you did. And yeah, leave a comment if something felt in alignment. I'm really open to feedback. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.